Okay, so back in December and January, I took my kids, both teenagers, to Eastern Europe, and we backpacked for like 5 weeks, right? We went to a bunch of different countries. They had never been to Eastern Europe. I have been everywhere that we were going at least 3 or 4 times, so I'm very familiar with it. And no shit, the very first day we were there, I lost Sam. I lost my son. We were in Prague. We had not even been out in the city yet. I lost him, like, in the hostel. And this is crazy. So, you get there, you have to fly for hours and hours. Because we don't live anywhere, really near a big international airport. So, getting anywhere is like an all-day 2-day thing. So we land in Prague, which I've been to a dozen times, and it's early in the morning when we land, and we're exhausted, and we make it to the hostel. But of course, like, check-in isn't for a few hours, but it's a hostel, so they're like, well, you can lay down in the common room, there's couches, y'all can just hang out in there. So the kids immediately crashed. I tried to, but I couldn't. And I found the Tesco, and I went and bought snacks and stuff. So I come back, and they felt sorry for us. About 2 hours later, they're like, you know what? We've got a room for you. So this hostel is like 4 or 5 floors, but there's only maybe 3 rooms on each floor, right? There's 1 staircase, and there's 1 elevator, and that's it. And they're right beside each other. So they give me the keys. I go up to the room, and there's 2 doors. There's a door that goes to an apartment that is not ours, and then there's a door that goes to a little alcove foyer where there's 2 rooms. One's ours and the other one is not. So I go in, I set my stuff down. Sorry, let me back that up. I go down and I get the kids, and I'm like, okay, I found the room, and it's on such and such floor. And he's like, okay. So Sam goes on ahead, and I watch him go up the staircase. Iris and I are behind him. We get upstairs. We go to the room. Sam's not there. Sam is, like, not in the room. I'm like, where did he go? Like, we knew he didn't go downstairs because he would have had to pass us in the stairwell. And the elevator hadn't moved. It was a really old one. You could hear it, and it hadn't moved. But I had seen him go up the stairs, and I'm like, okay, he's got to be up there. So he missed the floor. So I went all the way up to the top, and he was not there. So I go back down to our floor, and I'm looking around, and I'm hollering for him. Sam, Sam, Sam. Nope. The door next to us, the apartment next to us, has a big window that I can see into because the walkway is outside. This would make more sense if you could see the layout of this hostel. But I look in the window. I'm like, well, maybe he went in the wrong room, right? I look in the window, looking around. Nope, room's empty. No Sam, no luggage. Nobody's in there. So I'm starting to freak out a little bit. Where did he go? There's literally nowhere else for him to go. I mean, without walking past me. This is a very small hostel. I go in the room, and I'm like, I can't find Sam. I don't know where Sam is. And Iris is like, yeah, whatever. And she lays down on the bunk bed and goes to sleep like she's over it. So I start at the bottom floor of the hostel, and I work my way. I go to the kitchen, I go to the common room, I go to the laundry room, I go to the bathroom, the office, everywhere. Nope, nobody's seen him. So I go to the girl at the front desk, and I'm like, I've lost my son, and I don't know what happened to him. Do you have video footage, surveillance? And she's like, yeah. So she looks, and she looks throughout the whole hostel, and he is not there. So at this point, it's been almost 30 minutes since I've seen Sam. Life 360 says that he is still in the hostel. So I'm thinking he has somehow, this building is probably connected to the buildings around it, and he has somehow ended up in one of these other buildings. and that's why I can't find him. I actually went back up to our floor because, yes, there's like a little walkway. In the middle of the walkway, like, it circles around this glass roof, and if you can look down and see the kitchen below. And I looked down to see if the glass was broken. I'm like, oh my God, what if he fell over? I mean, I'm sure I would have heard that, or found his body in the kitchen. I honestly did not know where he was. I'm calling, I'm texting, he's not answering, I'm hollering his name out. I'm like, I can't, tell people back home that I've lost Sam on the first day, and we've literally not even been out in Prague. All we've done is gone from the airport to the hostel. That's it. Like, my mom is going to kill me. I can never go home. I can never return to the United States because I've lost Sam. And Prague's like one of the safest places I've ever been. So I'm freaking out, and I'm walking around. I do my laps around the hostel again. Where could he be? Where could he be? I wake Iris up, and I'm like, Iris, I really can't find Sam. She's like, what do you want me to do about it? I don't know, Prague. So I go back down to the receptionist, and I'm like, look, he's a teenager. I think he's ended up in somewhere where he's not supposed to be, and he can't get out, and I need help finding him. I honestly thought I was going to have to call the police to come find my son in this relatively small hostel. Like, how could he? And he had his luggage. Like, he had his backpack and stuff, and it couldn't find any trace of him. So she's like, okay, what did he look like? And I described him, and her English wasn't great, but we were able to communicate. And my check is non-existent. So she pulls back up the video footage, and she's like, how long ago did this happen? And I said, a little over half an hour ago. So she starts replaying it, and she's watching it, and she's like, okay, I see him. And then he just disappeared. And she didn't see him. I did not see the screen, but she was watching. And then she goes, oh, I know what happened. I know where he is. I know. Oh, let's go find him. So she takes off running up the stairs, and I go with her, and she goes to our floor, and I'm like, I've looked all over our floor. The room next to us is locked. He's not in our room. Oh, she was like, did you check the bathroom? Yes, I checked the tiny ensuite bathroom. That's the first place I looked. I even looked on the top bunk. Like, no, he's not in the room. So I'm like, I've already looked up here. There's literally 3 doors. So she bypasses our room, and she goes to the empty apartment next door, the window I looked into, and she pushed on the door, and it opened. And I'm like, okay, I didn't do that earlier, but I did look in the window, and I did knock. And she walked in, and she's like, he's in here. And I looked around, and I'm like, he's not in here. There's no bag, there's no Sam, and like, no sooner had I said that, Sam's head popped up on the top bunk. He had gone in the wrong room, and he was so tired that he had climbed up on the top bunk with his luggage and gone to sleep in the wrong room. I felt so stupid, but we found Sam, and then he and I get in this big argument about like what room I told him to go into and stuff. And she thought it was hilarious. Like, the hostel girl thought it was hilarious, and she was like, "Wait, this is the first time we've ever lost somebody." And I said, "I swear, I knocked on this door and I looked in the window, but there's no way I could have seen him up on the top bunk because he was hidden, Yeah, my very first day of having my kids abroad, I lost my son in the hostel. And we had not even been there 3 hours. It was an interesting start to the trip.